everybody, my name's Kiahonfire and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about some of the new features coming to Chapter 2, Age of Sorcery. I've taken notes from the live stream, so I wanted to talk to you about them today, and I've condensed them out, down into little bullet points that are understandable. You can already see some little friends right here, actually, the little house cats. Definitely a new addition that you can get. All of these three being free and things you can find around the map. So, a new creature indeed. We're talking about having pets that are actually pets, because these have a mind of their own and like to wander. So, and apparently like to go under the carpet. They do wander off by their own, they're not controllable, and they do things that cats do, you know? They don't care. They lick their paws, they plan your demise. Anyway, it's not all about kitties. There are other things that are new and improved when it comes, and other things that are not such good news. But I wanted to talk to you about it today so you were up to date with all of this if you definitely did miss the stream, because it's going to be some important information. We're going to first talk about the intentions of Chapter 2 and what does it mean. Well, they are planning to add a little bit more story to when it comes to different chapters, and building it throughout the different chapters and ages, you'll get some kind of story or tale coming along the way. So for lore nerds, this could mean a much more interesting thing and premise coming to you in the future. And this one is mostly about Mechamosis, the person that teaches you set religions and whatever else. He is Mechamosa of the Black Ring, used to be a very powerful sorcerer. He's talking away over there, so I'm going to move away, otherwise that kind of interrupts me. Anyway, he is a very powerful sorcerer that could summon large demons and all sorts in the past, but he got banished to the exiled lands, so now he can't do that anymore. But he wants to learn how sorcerers on the exiled lands have learnt to do their magic here when he cannot use his previous magic here right now. So the idea with this one is you're going to help out his followers, aka the Kitans, which are these new caravan people you're going to see all over the map. So you can see Conan Exiles, which you can trade with. These people will give you chances to buy thralls and buy special legendary items off of them, and bearer packs. So if you want any of that, you'll have to complete the new events that come tied with this one. And basically the idea is to help Mechamosa learn how to do sorcery in the exiled lands, because he once was the most powerful sorcerer before he got kicked off by Thothamon, which kicked his booty over here. And to comply with this new quest, you will have to either kill or knock out dangerous sorcerers. So any sorcerers you can find, knock them out or kill them, and then bring them to the cart and trade in their skulls at the bowl, or you can put them in the prison cage for rewards. You also have a chance of doing interesting events, one of the events spawning here at the volcano obelisk, where you can go ahead and kill a sorcerer that will spawn right in the middle here, kill his minions and whack down his walls, and that will give you a special skull that gives you the best prize that you can trade in at the caravan locations, one being in the volcano as well. I'll be doing a separate video for that. Now these events and rewards will both be on the Exiled Lands and the Ala Scepter, so you don't have to worry about missing out on either, because they will be a part of both. With this new stuff as well, they'll be introducing a new coin called Ancient Obolus. This is not a coin that you purchase with Chrome coins. It is a free coin that will be part of the game that apparently will reset every time they do a new chapter or a new age, because they bring along a new activity for you to do, apparently, is what they explained in the stream. So you have a chance to buy new things, and especially with this chapter, it is like you can buy fighters and archers for Ancient Obolus, and you can also trade other things with other merchants, like this exile trader who defies gravity. You can buy supply materials off of him for 5 Ancient Obolus. So farming the Ancient Obolus coin is going to be absolutely worth it, and is a free currency just like gold and silver coins. So don't worry about it being something that is microtransactions. There are several of these camps on the map, and you can buy the new armor from them, which is the Mad Prophet armor. AKA, if you want to look like a basketball hoop, you can look like a basketball hoop, or a bottle opener. Depends what you want, but I think it's the perfect hole for some ball games, am I right? You also have a chance of getting black blood tools and other legendary weapons by trading for this new currency with these new trader people. So it'd be very worth your while doing these new events. Admins can also spawn in this new currency, so don't worry about having it, separated or anything like that. You can choose to give them as rewards on your own servers or do testing on single player with them. It works just like how you have normal coins like gold and silver, so you can spawn them in on the admin panel. With this new update as well, they're starting to integrate new voice lines into the game, such as this Exile Captain.
Like you, we are strangers in this accursed realm.
They have mentioned this as well, but apparently Chapter 3 events will have random placements. So detective people have built, in the area, and if they have, it will go somewhere else where someone doesn't live. AKA, you won't get an event spawning inside of your base, because that would be very unpleasant. So apparently it's going to be a bit more smart like that. If you don't like events as well, apparently in the future you'll be able to turn them off of your own server, just like how you can turn the Maelstrom off or the Purge. You will be able to disable events as well. In other news, Test Live is out already, so if you want to test any of these new features and give them a go, well, you can indeed do so. But apparently for modders, the dev kit comes out on the 15th. Thankfully this time, they are allowing 3 weeks for modders to update their mods, and then apparently this is being released to the public. Looking at my calendar, this would mean if it's 3 weeks time from when it's going to be, so the 15th is on a Tuesday. That means if it's 3 weeks time, we will be looking at December the 6th for an update. So December the 6th, mark it in your calendars, because that is 3 weeks time from the 15th. So you will hopefully get the lovely update then. It's either that or it's the 13th, but I'm pretty sure, looking at the weeks and the dates, we could be getting this update on the 6th of December, so they would be keeping their promise with the 3-month interval when we get a new update and stuff, so I was pretty bang on when I said you'd get a new update in December. They're also working on expanding the Battle Pass, which you won't be able to see in the Test Live client because, of course, they don't want you to see it. But that will give a bunch of new stuff that we might have already seen from the trailers that they did yesterday and the previews. Some of this stuff you could be getting via the Battle Pass or buying it via the Bazaar if you so want to. If you don't know what to buy as well when it comes to the Bazaar or the Battle Pass, you should be able to preview emotes now and stuff in there as well. So if you see a certain emote and don't know what it does, it should actually show you a little preview of armor and what the emote does in the menu now, whereas it didn't do this before. But when it comes to character transfers, I have bad news because it has been put pretty much on the back burner. From what it sounded like anyway when it came to the stream, which is very, very sad. They said no new information on it, no timeline, but it is on their radar, meaning they know about it, but it is probably a very low priority right now. Which I would say is a big shame because transfer is something people have been waiting for ages to work again. It was a very nice feature when we had it, but a short-lived one. When it comes to the patch notes, apparently there are 800 lines of bug fixes coming to Chapter 2, so that is something you have to look forward to. For those who are having issues and all sorts and getting annoyed at certain bugs, well, they are looking at fixing a lot of them, hopefully, in this upcoming update. However, it's always the thing when they introduce new stuff, there's always going to be new problems, and when they're trying to fix old stuff, it might not always work, so take it with a grain of salt. Hopefully Test Live will help in, analysing what needs to be tweaked or not, but hopefully this should help fix a bunch of problems that are problematic, especially the Yellow Lotus bug, which is very annoying, and other bugs as well. Speaking of bugs though, that definitely brings me on to my next point, especially when we talk about console, which apparently they said and noted that they're still having an ongoing battle with sorting out the console bugs. Because of memory being an issue and restrictions on that, they especially noted this when people were asking about dungeons and the top right hand side of the map being complete, which then debunked didn't have a bunch of dungeons under it, and it could be filled out in the future. But for that to work, they would have to reduce the amount of memory the game uses, on consoles especially, because they're having troubles now, even with the invisible stuff, to get it working properly. So adding more strain, especially on a map as big as this, will mean having to do a ton of optimizations to get it to work. Because this is not just a PC game, this is also a console game. So what works here has to work over there as well, which means, again, a lot of optimization, so less memory is used, is definitely needed for them to do more. So they are working currently on the console issues. They definitely confirmed that. I believe they have a separate team on it looking into those problems. So don't worry, they are working on it. They have noted about invisible stuff going on and all sorts of issues. It's just something that is a work in progress, given the limited memory and whatever else, is pretty much what I gathered from what they were saying in stream. They need a bit more time to keep filtering through all of this stuff. Now there are some new cosmetical items, new building items as well, and a lot of them are actually going to be Battle Pass or Bazaar, unfortunately, as you would be able to see on Test Live yourself. So, for example, if you don't know what's going where, there's a very, very good indicator on what is going to be a monetized item. So, for instance, the Helm of the Mad Prophet, I can spawn all of this in just fine, but if I was looking for one of the new armors or something like that, let me just locate it because it can be a bit of a mess. I think I found it. Yes, so you can see there's the beautiful illusionist armor. It says failed spawning item in. All of this stuff will say that, and that will mean that pretty much, how many armors is this? Any of these armors or weapons and stuff will either be in the Bazaar or it will be in the Battle Pass. So if you want, you know, let's see, there's one armor there, one armor, 2 armor, 3 armor, 4 armor, 5 armor. There are 5 different armors that will be under monetization, so you can only get one of the new ones for free, which is the basketball hood. If you want any of the other armors, it's going to be either a Battle Pass thing or a Bazaar purchase. But I can confirm the illusionist one, the Fox one, is a Battle Pass thing for level 1 that you'll be able to get. So if you have the Battle Pass, you should be able to get some of this new stuff and the new weapons, but it is a purchase again. So but if you bought the Battle Pass last season, as they mentioned, you would have been able to earn enough Chrome coins to buy the new Battle Pass, so that will leak into that. So in theory, you won't have to buy the Battle Pass twice, providing you didn't buy anything on the Bazaar this season, or at least added some currency to the Bazaar to be able to get the next Battle Pass. But yeah, a lot of these new items unfortunately are locked behind a paywall, and it's the same when it comes to building. I'm sorry to say that for those who were hoping perhaps it would be more in the free update. But I can say, looking at the stuff, we can see the hedge maze, it's all failed to spawn, which again means that this is stuff that you will be having in the Bazaar. Same with any of the statues. With the cats, they are 3 of them are free, but there is a skin for either the Bazaar or the Battle Pass, so don't worry, you'll still be able to get cats and stuff like that. But when it comes to bowls of flowers, there's a latrine, there's a bathtub, there's an effigy, tablet of the father set, whatever that is, rose bushes, even a cursed tree, which is interesting, idols are set, brown mulch, which is interesting. All of this is going to be locked behind a paywall, as you can see. Even all of these books and stuff, even, I hate to say it, even the new Stormglass stuff is going to be a paid set. So if you did buy it before for Sipter, you're going to have to buy the edition as well. because it is an addition. Apparently they stated the reason they cannot, you know, add it as a free add-on is because before, the Stormglass set would have been an addition, like, you know, a DLC, a Steam DLC, but it has no relation when it comes to their own purchase shop. They can't tell who's bought it and who hasn't. So if you want the additional Stormglass vaulted ceilings, archways, new windows, rose windows, new stairs that have left and right things, you will have to buy it, kind of like how you did with the Sandstone set. And it's pretty much same for other stuff as well. And here we have rough timber, lattice walls and windows. They will also be purchasables. Same with a lot of floor spray, and a bunch of other stuff. Honestly, there is a lot of stuff that is going to be locked behind a paywall, which to be honest, when I found this out and saw how much was locked behind the paywall, I did find it quite disheartening myself, because it is like literally one armor versus, how many was it? 5? 1 for free, 5 are paid. It does seem a little, you know, the weighing up is a little bad there. And I was hoping the Stormglass stuff would be something you could claim if you already owned Scepter, but I guess it's very understandable if it is something they can't tell who has what with their new system. So that I'm not too bothered by that, but now I understand why it's not so bad. But before I was a bit like, ooh, that's going to create a bit of friction. Anyway, anything like the new animal pen, new pictures outfits, new stuff like that, it's all Battle Pass, all Bazaar. So pretty much when we're coming to saying what is the free stuff, what is the paid, anything you saw that is pretty much new decorations, new armor, minus the profit set, that is all paid for stuff. But the witch hunt events and the new events and encounters coming are free for you to enjoy. So that gives you a clear line on pretty much what you will need to dish out some wallet money for. The gibbet as well that you would have seen in the trailer, which is apparently a new Thrall Wheel of Pain Tier 1, is an additional way you can train Thralls. That also seems to be either Battle Pass or Bazaar. Now let's talk about pets and animals and all things like that. They have said that they will be getting nerfs. Now this is because apparently they were using some of the Thralls' damage. They've been bugged. So things like big cats jumping you and stuff like that had the wrong multipliers and did way more damage than intended. So to fix that, quite a few creatures have had the big hammer on them. But they have said this is not the end of it, this is just kind of like the start. So they want to fine-tune pets a bit better, but I think for this chapter, pets will not be as worth using from what we've heard. So they'll be a lot weaker in comparison to using Thralls, because they want Thralls to be the better thing to use, not pets. That was made pretty clear. However, gorillas and scorpions might be worth more when you want to pick them up, because they had a buff, because they were really bad apparently. So they will never be as good as a human Thrall, but they are and they will be working on pets in the future to hopefully make them maybe a bit more useful or so. But nerfs and stuff have to come first to get ready for this. So unfortunately, yes, for this chapter, some of your beloved pets that you are used to using may not be as good as before. And I think this change is especially going to affect when it comes to big cats, because they especially mentioned this in the stream, especially when they pounce at you. Apparently a lot of people have complained about their damage in general, and well, it will be something changing. So I definitely know Yakith is one of those under the firing line who is getting a nerf. When it comes to fellow magic users, will there be any spells for Chapter 2? No, there will not be. They have confirmed there will be no spells in Chapter 2 or Chapter 3. but they do want it in the next age, so roughly in about 6 months' time, because each chapter is about 3 months each. So if there's going to be a couple new chapters, that means pretty much 6 months' time you might see some new spells. But they have said with spells that they would like to use them in like conjunction to the new age content. So it'd be like in conjunction with new features will be new spells. So it could actually make doing magic and spells more interesting. So keep an eye on it. There won't be no new spells immediately, but there'll perhaps be more fine-tunements and stuff. I have been told the Fire Turd, aka the Wall of Fire, has had some adjustments to make it better than it was previously, and they have done some fixes when it does come to spells either way. So definitely have a revisit to some of the magic, because it could be more worth using than beforehand, because they're working on fixing it and fine-tuning it a bit better. Coming back to one of the elephants in the room, talking about money, Bazaar Prices. They're talking about doing adjustments in Chapter 2, because they were speaking about they had all the data from what people have bought, and data is king. So they will be looking at that and seeing what was more popular, what sold better, what didn't sell better, and adjusting prices in the future for certain things, perhaps like certain categories like building and emotes. Depending on what was bought more, you could see fluctuation in the price. Now I'm going to hope this helps with lowering the price on some things, because I must admit some prices on the Bazaar are crazy in comparison to the old DLCs they used to use. And not only that, some prices in the Bazaar are basically the cost of full brand new games. Like you can buy full games with what you can buy for a sofa basically, and that's just not on, simply is not on. And the only people who will buy that is whales or people with either no money sense or a lot of money in general, or perhaps they just got convinced too much for it. Either way, I don't think it's very healthy. It's very pricey. But if you don't want to buy it or partake in any of that, you don't have to. You know, you are control of yourself. But it's just something that I'm hoping they will involve a bit better, so prices will be more reasonable with the common person, especially with how expensive things are getting these days. Not only they have to keep the lights on, but their players also need to keep their own lights on. So not everyone is going to be able to afford such pricey things. I, for instance, will not be buying it like one weapon skin for £5. I think that is very silly. Still talking about money though, they're talking about they have no plans to do cross-purchase between platforms. The reason for this is basically if you wanted to, you know, have the same purchases from PC to Xbox, you would have to make a Funcom account. And they thought that would be way more annoying having to log into something like that for the player base as a whole, than just having that as a feature. And they said they don't think very many people play on Xbox and PC, or PS4 and PC, or PS4 and Xbox at the same time. Usually most people will play on one or the other platform and not both. So it's more of an instance of more people play on individual and not combined. But it might be a possibility in the future, depending on how the game pans out and what becomes more priority. We will see. Maybe one day if they do something like crossplay, you could see that. But depending on what you want to do, I definitely think for now, not having to make an account and having to log into Conan is definitely a feature, because having to log into everything these days does get quite annoying. So we'll see. It might be a thing in the future, but if it does come, you will probably have to expect with it, you'll have to, you know, do an account creation to make that kind of thing work. It won't just work on its own. It won't be able to tell basically, so you will need an account for that kind of thing. Now let's talk dungeons. I've seen tons of you, and I must admit myself, I love dungeons. It's one of the reasons Sipter is just so amazing. Like, dungeons are all over Sipter, and it feels like it's done quite a lot better than what the Exiled Lands could do, personally, from my own beliefs. Anyway, dungeons, will they be adding any more? I would love more dungeons. You know what I would like to see? I know several of these dungeons, they work with other modders to make them. I believe, if I remember right, Snow Hunter, a modder who's made several dungeons that are modded and very, very cool, he made the Warmaker's dungeon, and I believe he made this one, but I could be wrong on this one. I'm unsure of this one in particular, but I know for sure he had his hand in the Warmaker dungeon. Now, why don't they do something like that? Get a modder to make a dungeon, do a feature, you know, and then add it into the game that way. Because that would be a way you could cut down on perhaps costs and time. Get a modder to do it and, you know, give them, you know, pay them, of course, for their time. But I think it would be an absolute honour if a modder could, you know, get their dungeon or stuff included in, you know, maybe you could do a competition or something where, you know, the best dungeon, you know, you will get a prize money and it will get included in the game, and they could make it via the dev kit or something cool like that. I don't know how you would do it or how do you want to do it, but I think getting modders involved to make like official game stuff and honour them a bit more like that would be really cool as well. But anyways, that probably ends the video here. I probably caught you up on all the bullet points I made in the stream. I literally sat there and made a bullet point of pretty much most things they mentioned. Look forward to new lore, new structures and chapters coming up in ages. In the long aspect and the long run, I think it'll be a good thing because they're going to keep the game more active by giving us new stuff to do every few months. So it should make things a little bit more spicier, should be a little bit more fun. However, on the other side, I'm not a big fan of seeing how much they're doing. I feel like they're doing a lot of things for their, you know, their cash shop and stuff. Whereas, like, quite a few of this could be, you know, put into the free game as well. Not just the cash shop. Like, you could have put some of these armors into a new dungeon or something and had it come out that way. And I think a lot of people would like some more time spent on that instead. Or stuff like that. Or fixes and stuff like that. But I do feel like they have a lot, and I mean a lot of items in comparison to what we have for free this time. Just pretty much sitting in the cash shop, and I'm not really a big fan of that. I think it needs to be a little bit more even when we're talking free versus paid. Maybe it would have been nice to see some of those new decor items people could have used for free. But they do seem to all be paid. I mean, I would have loved to have like a rose bush and stuff added on to some of the old bushes we had that maybe wasn't paid or something like that. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. But I did find it very disappointing seeing how much is being shoved behind a monetary wall. But basically what you get for free, you get the new basketball armor head thing. You get the new events and encounters. You get the new key-tied traders that will give you pre-existing tools and legendary items. And those lovely bearer boxes. And that is your free content. Any of the new building sets, it would seem 5 of the new armors, I believe. And, oh wait, you have cats for free as well, sorry. Any of the new cat skins as well, minus the free ones, aka the black, the white, and the beigey looking one. Those are free cats you can pick up around the place, like where I am right now. But if you want a skin for that, you have to buy that. That's fair enough, I think. But yeah, any of the new building, the hedge maze, the lemon trees, the rose bushes, the new thrall taming wheel, the new animal pen, the new Pictish themed outfit, all of that is, well, behind a paywall. So, yeah, that gives you an idea of what's free and what's not this time around, because I was quite confused what was not and what was so. Even the Wall IV is also going to be something that you have to buy or claim through the Battle Pass. So, I would say you probably want to look into the Battle Pass this time around if you want a chance of getting any of the cool stuff, or the new armors or whatever. Quite a lot of the new things you saw on stream, minus the events, are stuff that you will need to pay for. So that gives you an idea of what would be free and what not, from what I understand so far. Let me know what you think about this Chapter 2 update. Do you like the sound of it? What's your feelings behind it? Will you be enjoying the new events? I think I will definitely enjoy the new event. I enjoy seeing where they're going to be bringing Conan in the future. I think they just need to weigh up some things as well with the shop a little bit more between their free players and the paid players, just so those people that are supporting them aren't missing out as well. Like, they could have added another new one of those armors or stuff behind their new merchant thing system. I think that would have definitely been very nice. What we'll see anyway, what they do with the future in this, we'll see. But I think they're going in a good place either way from the more frequent updates. I definitely like the sound of that. Hopefully this, you know, money and stuff thing is helping with developing some more stuff like that. And I'd be interested to see what Chapter 3 is going to hold. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!